Hello and welcome to another edition of Citizen Herald, a weekly program where we review articles which are published in the Herald by common citizens who raise public issues. Week after week, we have featured many such prominent citizens who take up public issues pertaining to various aspects of civic life, pertaining to development, pertaining to accidents, pertaining to garbage management. All these we have showcased on our program Citizen Herald. This time we wish to discuss the Goa restriction on transfer of agricultural land bill which was passed in the Goa Assembly budget session. To discuss this bill, and now it has become an act, I have with me Arvind Miskita from Kolwa. Arvind, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Dr. Freddy.
Yeah. So, please can you introduce yourself and tell us what are the issues that you take up as part of your gamut of interest and work?
Okay, thank you. So, my name is, as you said, Arvind Miskita. So, basically, I'm an NRI, but I spend a lot of my time in Goa. My issues I'm mostly interested in are environment, good governance, as the government would like to give, and also the basic USP of Goa and its identity, be it land, culture, identity, language. So these are three interests I have in Goa today.
Okay. And what motivates you to take up these issues?
Well, what motivates me is basically I've seen in Goa something very different. So of course I had a privilege to travel to many countries, and it's like when you go outside you actually learn what treasure you have back home. So when I saw things outside and when I saw how it compares to back home and the beauty and the identity and the culture, the food, whatever, I felt it was something which we have as a treasure and we need to preserve it. So that was like inner motivation for me.
Okay. So many of the people who take up public issues are sometimes read wrongly, by the powers that be, because it does not suit their interests and they feel that they are opposing for the sake of opposing. But if you look at the heart of the sentiments of issues raised, you will find that most of the public spirited citizens wish to protect Goa as it is and if not improve it. So basically Goa is a unique place, and the more important parameter to be considered is that Goa is a small place. Therefore, there is a danger of being overrun by this brigade of development which is sweeping across the country. Now, this time we have this Goa restriction on transfer of agricultural land bill. Now, there are a lot of things which are said about the bill, beginning with the intent of the bill. Now, the intent of the bill which was passed in the Goa Assembly on Friday was that this Goa restriction on transfer of agricultural land bill 2023 is to prohibit the sale of agricultural land for non-agricultural purposes, and this cannot be done without the collector's nod. Now, of course, the opposition benches had opposed it. Now, your letter which appeared in the Voice of Goa Herald, it was titled Controversial Agricultural Bill. Now, why do you think that the bill is controversial? Before we go into the various aspects, prima facie, why do you think that it is controversial?
Okay, so I just want to put it in the correct perspective, and I want to go back a step. Back when I say back a step, to early 2000.
Yeah.
At that time, the mega projects were coming up. A lot of land sharks were buying land, and there was a lot of apprehension and fear among the people here, be Goans, be even residents, that Goa is losing its identity in terms of land and then related pollution. So that time there was a movement for Goa movement for special status.
Yeah.
It was peak during that time.
Yeah.
In fact, some meetings were held in Mandovi Hotel, and there was a movement, eminent Goans here. And it kept on going. I also was part of it to some point where we had a UAE signature campaign. We met Digambar Kamath, then Congress CM, Edward Falero, even the late Manohar Parrikar, opposition leader. So we
Okay.
gave a set of memorandum. One of them was special status.
Okay.
And that had a very genuine reason. For example, it's not about Goan, non-Goan. It's just a question of the practicality of the land and preserve what is there so that others can come also and enjoy it.
Yeah.
So the then CM, of course, he took it as a campaign against the ruling party, where he did say, okay, we will try to give you special status.
So that is the problem. Mainly when you are espousing something, the powers that be or the politicians in power at that time see it is as an affront against them or their political party.
Correct. So it was a campaign start from that time. It went even to Prime Minister Modi when he came around to Goa that time. He even mentioned in a speech. All that happened.
Yeah.
2 terms have passed. Now the 3rd term, nothing has been done. That has been forgotten, and the government seems to conveniently put it on the back burner, although it was a promise.
Yeah.
So, coming to your point, why this bill is controversial. So, I'm saying, okay, from that point of view, what the party is actually giving is a very small, maybe deliverance on its promise.
Yeah.
And that also, what makes me nervous are these clauses
Yeah.
which can go against the spirit of the bill.
Yeah.
Now, saying that, if I shift gears a bit, when I saw the bill, I didn't see the bill, when I saw the statement by the Chief Minister and the BJP head here, he said, before the bill came out, the agricultural land will be restricted to non-Goans.
Yeah.
That is okay, so fine.
They restrict the sale of land.
Restrict.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, despite all the negatives that you're doing, relaxing real estate, legalizing settlements, which is gradually encroaching on a lot of land, okay, maybe this is a positive thing. So I took it as a positive intent. I even commented in some forum. I said, I think this is a positive thing we should support.
Yeah.
When the bill came out, and I saw there's nothing mentioned of what the CM had said. So he actually in my opinion, misleading.
Yeah.
And there was, and not only that, even if it's agricultural, a non-agriculturals also can become with a collector giving permissions.
Yeah.
Fine. Where are the rules? So, and that's one part of it. When I look at the various laws in Goa today, there are some great laws, but everyone has a loophole. It's
Yeah.
somehow manipulated. You look at the trees being cut down, you look at the CRZ, you look at the sand dunes. The laws are there. What's
Yeah.
happening? The laws are not being followed.
Yeah.
So when you have loopholes within a new bill, how worse can it be?
Yeah.
So while I'm saying that on the face of it, I like the name of the bill,
Yeah.
and I wish it gets modified to give its true intent.
Yeah.
And if at all these clauses are there which the government must clarify or put in clauses to allay any fears, then I'm fine with it. The second part of that is that what was the hurry in passing the bill?
Yeah.
As I said, from 2000 to early 2000 was a serious issue of land preservation. It's a very serious matter.
Yeah.
There are various stakeholders involved, right? The least you could do is put it out there, have a discussion, get all the feedback, and then address all the concerns, and then put it out there.
So you're saying that the hurry with which the bill was passed raises certain
Yes.
suspicions about the intent of the bill.
Correct. So, yeah, the intent of the bill. And the other thing is that if I look at the people who are passing the bill, the background of them has not been very good to see. For example, the villages have been concretized.
Yeah.
Right? And the same politicians from there are passing this new bill. So there could be a level of suspicion.
Yeah.
Again, I'm saying I want to be fair. It's not that I just want to pass on a judgment. These are the views passed by me, and I've seen the interviews and the debates, and there are some legitimate points there.
Yeah.
I request the government to pursue this bill in its true spirit.
Yeah.
And if you do it, it is something that the generation going forward will remember you, each one of you. This is not against each political party. That is aside. The objective is how do we preserve what we have for the future.
Yeah. So that we can take that in the suggestion section. But before that, you have also said and pointed out in your letter that there was no proper discussion where the genuine concerns of the people would have been addressed.
Yes.
Especially because the bill was tabled at late night.
Late night. Now that's why are bills tabled at late night? What is it? And that also in a hurry.
Yeah.
Now, if for example, I could hear, when I was watching the proceedings, there were MLAs, whatever the opposition MLAs, they were putting their points. And on one side, the government is trying to pass Korea. Why?
Yeah.
you could have waited for some more time, taken the points, come back the next day.
Yeah.
Of course, I also understand the opposition leader members will always protest and they will always have something to say.
Yeah.
But at least for the people, they could see it's been done in a fair way.
Yeah. Now, what we have said is that there has been a lot of defense by Atanasio Montserrat, the revenue minister, with regard to saying that the government has brought this bill to prevent non-agriculturists from acquiring the agricultural land in the state. But here, as the opposition and you yourself have pointed out, these these agriculturists who can buy land, that means the implication is that if they are claiming that non-agriculturists cannot buy, but agriculturists from other states can buy the land. So, this trumpeting that non-Goans will not be able to buy the land really does not hold water in this case.
It defeats us, as I said earlier,
Yeah.
the CM statement is misleading.
Yeah.
So, they were promoting that, but when a bill came out, something different. So, ideally in the spirit, they should have a restriction not only of agriculture, but also from people outside the states.
But do you buy this argument that the bill has been brought to preserve and protect the land which is being presently used for agriculture? That is one of the clauses. That it is, this is, I mean, I am adding the word, this is only to protect land which is presently under cultivation of paddy.
No, it could be to protect the land, that's one part. The second thing, are you going to earn income or productivity out of it, increase agriculture? Now, on the face of it, it might look like that. But if with those various clauses they put there and somebody just buys the whole land and shows either he will, which this is also not clear about, he'll have another business activity relating to that. He says, okay, I'm doing this in terms of the agriculture, but actually his primary agriculture is the non-agriculture. So that defeats the purpose.
Yeah.
The second part of that, yes, he has enough money, he'll maintain a basic area, and 20 or 30% he'll do his prime real estate thing.
Yeah.
So is that actually serving the purpose?
Yeah.
And that is not the only thing, it's a number of people who are going to do this.
Yeah.
It's not one or two.
Yeah.
There are cash rich people from outside Goa who are waiting to grab this land, and the land will go at a premium because it is something that has to be specially facilitated.
Yeah.
And what makes me nervous with the amount of corruption that we have in Goa, it is very easy to do that. So that's why the laws have to be, or the bills have to be watertight.
So now the consequences or the dangers, that we come to the third part of our discussion, the consequences and the dangers are imminent. They are just lying there just below the surface. And one of the things which is pointed out by members of the opposition in their discussions both inside the Goa Assembly and outside the Goa Assembly was that the bill is pertaining only to cultivation of paddy, which is specifically mentioned. It does not mention about land which is under horticulture.
Yeah.
It does not refer to groves.
Yes.
It does not refer to marshlands or even khazan lands.
Yeah.
So the question is, can these be brought by people who want to buy it?
See, can this be bought, you mean?
Yeah.
Why not? If it is agriculture, I mean, I was listening to proceedings and there is a bit of discrepancy there.
Yeah.
If they're saying the Revenue Act is agriculture, something else.
Yeah.
So if the person want to actually buy it for something and later he goes to court,
Yeah.
you challenge him, this is not paddy. He says agriculture, says anything.
Yeah.
So that will go on another 20 years.
Yeah.
So it has to be clear on what it actually is.
Yeah.
You cannot have one part and then your other Revenue Act is saying something else.
Yeah.
So just coming to one point is the number of bills having passed, just being like a fast food kind of thing.
Yeah.
These bills have to be taken time.
Yeah.
A good bill taken time, deliberate, see all the pros and cons, and then do it. They're doing it in a very fast manner.
Yeah.
I don't know what is the hurry of doing so many bills.
Yeah.
And if you see not only this bill, earlier there are so many real estate bills have passed.
Yeah.
The Communal bill was passed.
Yeah.
So what is the hurry of the government just to, are they not going to last next year
Yeah.
or next month or 6 months from now?
Yeah.
So I don't understand what's the hurry of this. The critical thing for Goa's future. So all these things what you're mentioning, they have to be properly defined and cleared out.
And you are saying that the credibility of some of the politicians who are presently serving is also a big question mark.
Yes.
Because of these kind of bills which are brought and the manner in which they are passed hurriedly.
See, some of the politicians who bought this, if you see years back, they have brought similar bills where there's a regional plan. There was a big protest that time.
Yeah.
The Save Goa Bachao Abhiyan was fighting against, and many other people. The same politician bringing another bill. Have they actually changed?
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah. So basically the problem is not with this political party doing it at that time, because that time it was another political party. Now the political party in power is a different party, but the tendency to grab land is the same. That's what you're saying.
The culture is the same, irrespective.
So basically present day politicians see land as a very big asset.
Yeah.
And a very big milking cow.
In fact, I mean, if you go to many other states, right, there are different opportunities for the politicians to make money.
Yeah.
In Goa, there are few ways. One of them is land.
Yeah. Because after mining, I think it is land.
It's land.
Yeah.
Okay. Practically every politician that I have, key politician I'm aware of, is into land.
Yeah.
Right. So it is a big commodity.
Yeah.
And it is something which can actually enhance your wealth and your standing in the community in terms of your status and your political power.
Yeah. So basically one of the shortcomings which have been pointed out by the opposition is that this pertains only to agricultural land. The second is that the kind of money power which is coming to Goa, the money bags which are coming to Goa, they can buy huge tracts of agricultural land, and as one of the opposition members has discussed in the House, he said that there can be a farmhouse culture which can come to Goa with this kind of a bill. Now, the kind of money which they have, they can buy huge tracts of field, and therefore a large part of it can be used as farmhouses, because there is a percentage, a certain percentage of the agricultural land which you purchase, you can have a farmhouse.
Yeah.
So do you think that this is a genuine fear?
It is a genuine fear. I mean, it is a culture which is prevailing outside in other parts of India, and there are, I mean, they have bigger lands. It's a different matter. So they have done it, but you cannot do the same thing here.
Yeah.
And the points are genuine. And the thing is, that's one part of it in terms of farmhouse. Second thing, the second law I was mentioning, which are in conjunction with the thing, that's not very clear.
Yeah.
So it is a genuine thing, and it's something the government needs to listen to this point and be clear. If they have good intentions and there is a point, fine, clarify it.
Yeah.
But as far as I see it now, it is still a contentious point.
Then there is also another provision with regard to corporates and industries.
Yeah.
Now there is a proviso there which says that if they get permission from the collector, then they can purchase, I mean the industries and the corporates. So is there a possibility that this can be used for non-agricultural purposes?
There is a possibility. Again, the rules have to be specified. I mean, we can always cover it up. No? You can say, okay, this is actually non-agriculture, but I need it for this agriculture. Maybe you want to call it hydroponics, and you put some other technology, actually technology for something else also.
Yeah.
It always can be misused.
Yeah.
Now, as I said from the beginning, on the face of it, the bill looks fine, but these two clauses can open up a whole lot of can of worms, and in terms of open door, which will work against the principle of this good intended so-called.
And the power for the sale of land lies with the collector.
Yeah.
So since the collector is a part of the government and takes instructions from the political class, do you think there is a fear that the office of the collector there is a big possibility that it can be misused?
See, if I as an ordinary citizen, I look around me, right? For example, I'll just deviate a bit. When I look at the railway double tracking issue, I see a clear direction from the government for a deputy collector not to show up in Wellsound. Although he gave the interview, he would not do it otherwise.
Yeah.
There's a big influence there.
Yeah.
So why not here?
Okay.
So so the thing is, the system has to be strong, irrespective of which political party. Tomorrow there might not be this. There might be another one.
Yeah.
What will happen then?
Yeah.
So there has to be a system which is strong. So the collector and all, I feel them hugely influenced by the government in many other areas. I don't see no reason why they would not do the same here.
Okay. Now, suppose you as a citizen were given this opportunity to either draft a bill or to discuss aspects of the bill and to present it, because we always it is like very often it is good to be an opposition leader because you can point out a lot of flaws.
Yeah.
But suppose you are in the hot seat and you are given this responsibility of drafting an agricultural bill, how would you, given your intentions that we have to preserve the unique identity of Goa, and you mentioned with regard to the special status of Goa,
Yeah.
what are the things that would go into making a bill which would be beneficial to the state and to its citizens, especially in terms of agriculture?
Yeah. So just thinking about it a bit, there are two parts to this. One is to preserve the state. One is to help the economy.
Yeah.
And we need to also look at economy,
Yeah.
because otherwise people are leaving and going somewhere else.
Yeah, definitely.
So if you ask me this question, maybe in 2000, I would say only this, which is only preservation state.
Yeah.
But I also understand there needs to be money coming in. Like if you go to many countries, they've worked out formulas which will preserve the place and might as well also bring in money to them.
Okay.
So coming to that point, the first thing I would put in there is it's only for the agricultural land particularly. It should be only for the local Goans.
Yeah.
Period.
Okay.
There's no discussion to that.
So, so this idea that only agriculturists are able to buy it, but you would qualify it and say that people who have been living in Goa, only those people should be eligible to buy agricultural land.
Saying that, the definition of Goan also has to be defined by the government. Otherwise, anybody can become, right?
Yeah.
But let's keep that for a definition. But this is one thing. The second thing is that if we want, what we want to, there's also an opportunity to bring in investment to develop agriculture. So for example, Goa wants to do something. For example, Amsterdam is a hub of agriculture. A lot of exports come from Amsterdam.
Okay.
So say we don't have the money, so we need money from outside.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
So you can always create it. That I think one of the opposition leaders had said a community-based
Yeah.
farming where it's the rest, the ownership is the government.
Yeah.
Or they don't get tenancy, right? They don't get authority, but they get 10 years or whatever.
Yeah.
They bring in the money, they grow it, everything agriculture.
Yeah.
So we are bringing in investments from outside, which will help the state.
Yeah.
Same time, we're not losing out. And third time, we're maintaining the environment.
Yeah.
So I would go for this two-prong approach. And the third caveat, anything like this, for example, if there's a caveat of collector getting information, there has to be clear rules.
Yeah.
How much percent of land, okay, under what rules are you going to give? If he's just giving for his just keeping a place and having a hotel down there, if you are not sure about it, get rid of it.
Yeah.
Don't keep this gray area.
Fuzziness. Okay.
So these are the three aspects I would suggest if in a bill should I propose it.
Yeah. And you would like to see that even though this is passed, it should be still open to public debate. And if the government is sincere in its effort, one has to go in for certain amendments and take widespread suggestions from the public.
Yeah. Because see, to be fair to the government also, as I said, opposition leaders will always want to say something. Others, that's
your role. Yeah, that's your role.
So they'll always say, okay, because opposition is saying it, so we'll not listen to you,
Yeah.
or maybe we'll not listen so much.
Yeah.
So, but when you come to the common man now, he's not a fully opposition. He's a common man, right? Okay, he might have political affiliation, but he's not fully opposition. So that there's more genuine, if you want to say.
Yeah.
So they'll listen to them.
Yeah.
Put about 10 days, 20 days, 1 month, okay, the feedback, and bring it out in open.
Yeah.
And if a government had done it like that, no,
Yeah.
even though anyone, even those opposing the government will help, like myself, I would support them on the bill.
Yeah.
No issue, because my issue is not a government or the
Yeah.
political party. My issue is the preservation of state, be any political party.
And to
who comes.
protect the interests of
That's it.
Goa.
Period.
Yeah.
So that is the way they should have done it,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And if there is time, I would even still call out to them to give more credibility to the government and particular ministers who are there. Please do that now.
Okay. So basically, we have had a good discussion with citizen Arvind Mesquita, who has been kind enough to come to our studios and put his money where his mouth is in terms of discussing the Goa restriction on transfer of agricultural land bill. Very often people are ready to write about it, but they are not ready to face the camera, they are not ready to take a stand, especially in these trying times. So, we have had a number of apprehensions which have been expressed with regard to this bill. There are a lot of positive suggestions which Arvind Mosquita has made with regard to this bill, and the uppermost thing that we have to have in our mind is the interest of Goa and the protection of the land, which is increasingly become a scarce commodity because of the pressure of money bags which is coming on to Goa, being a small location, being a naturally blessed location, and being a state which is having its unique culture and lifestyle. So, I thank Arvind for coming on this show, Citizen Herald, and for his valuable suggestions, and we appeal to the government to take up this challenge, to discuss this act further and invite public suggestions to enrich it if the intentions are genuinely to improve the situation of agriculture and to preserve and protect the land of Goa. So, we thank you for watching Citizen Herald. Keep watching Herald TV.